All right. For all the dramas we busy don't happen this evening from Obi Kubana and the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Sonshi Tinubu giving an award certificate of as the ambassador of the what's me that one that talking the ambassador of the City Boy movement, so inside Southeast, and singing on your Mondays is your stand, and people dragging them like apartment neighbor generator to Oga Oshimole, and in soft touch, and the matter ways around the soft touch to other dramas the way BC they happen for inside Nigeria today. I just want to say welcome to the show today. Another beautiful day to talk about things that they happen for inside Nigeria. Welcome to Updates with Precious. Well, in case you know the tune to all the things that way BC they happen for Nigeria, and we don't give the first batch of updates previously, do yourself a favor, go find my last life. It was very short, just about 20 minutes. Go find the last life and make you go watch them so that you will see details of the things and where they happen for inside Nigeria. But make I just get a quick one or two, three more things. So I would like me to focus our conversation on this evening before I bring in my guest, and we'll go straight to the point because we're not going to waste time this evening, but to just talk to our guest about the things and we see we carry for mind to talk to them about. Well, let's move very quickly. I will ensure, in fact, we go ensure since Nigerian Christians they protected. U.S. Congressman Riley Moore vow as Ibi said the governor of Plateau State visit him for inside United States. And then full details of terrorism financing charge against ex-Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, and son can come out. And the 100 on Tambuwal's 8-year rule. So in case you don't want to say, why is anybody when the opposition? I need to remember say commit crime. I be wicked be not commit crime. I be allegation of money be not happen when in the government or any other governor when they support this administration. Allegation be not happen. The governor of Abia State, okay, say Ikpazu, Abi, the Imo State governor, sorry, the Enugu State governor, and nothing be happen because those people they support them. Now waiting me could not talk anything about them, but this now waiting the ADC they talk. Say almost everybody with the opposition, I need to see their sin. The sins of people who don't enter inside PDP don't they covered. But EFCC they say not be so. Say they very neutral. Then they do like that. Then they support everybody. In fact, that for everybody and for nobody. And that's so they talk. Well, we could go on. So today, Abia State been get a serious bomb scare as police come out something will resemble explosive device from inside the church. Now, Pastor don't fault police over alleged explosive exhumed in Abba Church, because if you like say it get as a matter take be what we will look into when the time reach. And then very quickly, bandits attack Katsina community despite peace deal, burn homes, vehicles. It still they happen even with the peace deals. Well, all of these and more matters maybe say we're going to talk about this evening. My name is Precious Enyi, and I'd like to say welcome to the show. Now updates with Precious it is. But make I quickly go bring my guest who I get inside the house when he come join us talk. Barrister Jugo, now lawyer, and apart from saying a lawyer, now one person we don't be very, very important to me because it don't help for waiting get to do with the small help what they give out to people with to people of IDP. And I be the person who even don't help us access the person who would give help to for the IDP who won't rebuild our house. Barrister Redzi Jugo, you Plateau State. Barrister Redzi, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Sincere apologies for dragging you out this night, almost at midnight. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here. As usual, it's always a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you, sir. I beg, how the weather is? The kind heat with the waters for Lagos Day for Plateau State. I be that side weather.
No, you people are closer to here. Plateau State is still in a good place, somehow, somewhere. But the truth is, the cold that you knew Plateau State to have before is no longer what it is today. So somehow, every time we're speaking with you, we're getting some of the heat through the screen to Joss there.
Why? What's it happen?
I don't know. Global warming.
But Plateau State used to have a beautiful weather. One place who almost began winter the fall for Nigeria said, and would they happy? So now weather they like that of Yankee. Chai.
Moscow. They call it Moscow before.
Chai.
Before you travel overseas, you need to come to Jos to come and practice, so that when you go to Yankee, you know what. That's so. Yes.
Welcome.
Well done.
Welcome.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, I mean, before we go to other things, so we'll talk. You know, say your governor visits the congressman we in charge of matter we get to do with the one we did not designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern, and he goes see the congressman today, and then talk a lot. And the congressman post and can't swear say he go make sure say Christians no continue to die for inside Nigeria. But before we go talk about that one, and then talk about the attacks. Make we first of all talk about terrorism financing. How you take see this matter where we say a whole attorney general of the federation and his son they finger them for something we get to do with terrorism financing. How you take see am? And as a lawyer, what's it mean to Nigeria? Say we get person we
So
don't have
let
asylum
us get something
use
there.
that offense. No,
Yeah.
not alleged though. Okay, go ahead.
Allegedly.
Alleged,
And if you know who allegedly,
guilty. We never did.
if you know who allegedly, they feel just show us for crime fighter now.
No. Not alleged though. Who born us?
Allegedly.
Now
So
allegedly, I beg. Thank you, sir.
one thing very clear about this country is that the poorer you are, the more the law can scrutinize you where you are. That means that the bigger you are, the more you can dodge and be beyond reproach. Everybody, you think Malami before today, anybody can just walk to his house like that. Who you be now? In this country? No. They don't born you now. But you see, and of course, people can say at the end of the day, it's also largely about the fact, say, they this government like that. So maybe if he was in this government, who knows what would have happened? So allegedly.
Are you saying that there may be people in this government that may also have, should be fingered like he's being fingered? Excuse my language.
One
not
thing,
been touched.
yes, yes. I prefer that we twist the language small so that it don't go be like see when now something else we talk about.
No, I mean when they put finger on, when they touching hands, when they direct vex. I don't say nice. I mean when they talk about, I don't know as I go easy explain it again. I know vex.
No, but
just say you understand me.
You're correct. The truth is this: there are individuals in every government that, first and foremost, you will not even look in their direction to even think about saying that they are suspected of one thing or the other. Why? Because they are at the high and mighty level. And that is why even when you look at our laws, our criminal laws, I'm sure you have heard this before, not be today. The most vicious of the punishment that you give the person we steal goats for farm or for marketplace is much worse than what you give somebody that steals actual money. That's the truth. So the way our laws are skewed in this country and the way everything is set, it wants to look at making sure that the rich are largely untouchable. If you get name, if you get money, or if you're in a place where you have authority, you think they'll come and be checking your bags like they check everybody else. Some people have diplomatic immunity, but let's not even look in that direction. Once you are able to get around the place, throw money around, and make sure that nobody's touching you, nobody will bother you at no time. So everybody know how Malami was in the Buhari government. And for some reason, he seemed to be a very beloved person. Always looking great with his well-tailored suits, speaking English from time to time like I am doing here. And he gets away with some of the things. Even that time, people want to accuse him of one or two things or say, he's not handling himself properly. But he is Attorney General of the Federation, and that is the chief law officer of any country. Now, when you're on that level, it is assumed that the laws of the country, they are hand. So when you come out and you say that this is the law, sometimes people do not even bother to check whether you are quoting it correctly or not. Because as chief law officer, it is assumed that you know everything. Now, see the way things played out. You remember when they were talking about Halliburton this, Halliburton that, when they were saying that there were all those conversations that were going on, and people were asking plenty questions. A lot of people knew that there were things that were not going well, even at that time. But there's a limit to which poor man can shout. If you shout 1, 2, you gas out. And sometimes they are hoping that whenever they are doing the wrongest of things, the rest of us will talk about it for 1 day, 2 day, and then there's a special scandal that will come up in one church or somewhere, and then we will all forget everything. Because that gist is sweet pass, that to try to sort out the problems that actually bedevil our country. Because whether we like it or not, that they're talking about today was channeled toward till date. I just saw the principal of one school like that. Till date, half of the building, no day. Primary school, no chairs in that place. So we're still in a very bad place.
For which state? For Plateau State?
No, it was somewhere in the east. I can't remember where exactly. But this thing I am talking to you about.
I wish you can name the state. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm not just naming it not because of anything. It's because I can't remember which, because I remember seeing a video clip. You know, sometimes as they scroll through social media, you just see Prince making a passionate.
That one we see for inside Northeast, somewhere for Northeast.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was Northeast, because I think there was a principal. He was making an appeal about the dilapidated nature of the school. But you know, this thing we're talking about, you know, is found in every state. I dare any state to say that today they don't have schools like that.
Oh, I mean, even in Lagos State, as metropolitan as Lagos State is, and as a flagship state will be, a roof just fell on school, almost fell on school children last week or so, last 2 weeks in Lagos State. You would shock you that kind of thing is happening in Lagos State with the kind of money we Lagos get. So I agree with you.
Yes. So that is the situation. So that is at some point in time, they will be, I don't think anybody would have successfully been able to say you want drag Malami in the height of his power. Who you be now?
Okay, so Barrister Jigwe, make we look at some of the counter, you know, because you're a lawyer, and I know, say, we come here to discuss other things, which we'll discuss, but I cannot see this kind of thing, and understanding, say, some of the reasons we make them they accuse Malami today, now because of things we happen for your state, Plateau State. Part of the things happen for your, now some of the reasons. So, you know, but they fair. See, I talk about, you know, I bring you come here, make I not mention them, and then considering your legal stance too. One, they say that you, Abubakar Malami, of waiting, then calling your address finish, make I not put down one. Within the jurisdiction of this honorable court, did knowingly, did you hear the word? Did knowingly abet terrorism financing by refusing to prosecute terrorism financiers whose case files were brought to your office as the Attorney General of the Federation for prosecution, and thereby committed an offense contrary to and punishable under Section 26, subsection 2 of Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. You know that there is a particular retired general, Oga Ali Kefi, that accused that he led an operation that investigated and got people who were financing terrorism in Nigeria. That is outside the name, so it be say UAE give us, and that those people were discharged under very suspicious circumstances. Rather, they make him the general forcefully retire for army, but dismiss those people, you know, discharge them without any, release them without any reason whatsoever. So I don't know if it's because of that particular one or because of that of the names of the UAE that the federal government has put this count charge on him. What do you think? Let me take
so let me tell you. As I'm these things I'm telling you are verifiable. As of today, there was an attack in one of the in Miango, where the attackers
in Plateau State.
Oh yes, they left a phone.
News, oh, we don't hear them all.
No, they left a phone at the scene. One of those small phones, touchlight phones, at the scene of the attack. The community found the phone, took the phone to the police. Till today, nothing has come out of that. There was a time there was a bus full of people dressed in black with arms and ammunition in a bus. I'm just talking of one community, Precious.
Sir? One
community. They were found with arms and ammunition in that vehicle. They were arrested, taken to the authorities. Then the next thing, as usual, what usually happens is that they will tell you they are going to Abuja. Once they go to Abuja, nothing happens.
It's gone.
It's gone. Now, this thing I'm just mentioning to you is not one, not two, not three. No one till today, since all of this madness started about a decade ago, they can't look and say that anybody has been prosecuted. And that's why some of us, the last time the Senate was in Jos, somehow it fell on me to also the Senate Committee on Security. They came to take memo from the Northwest, the North Central. The committee led by this Benue senator. I remember his name. I was saddled with the responsibility of sending a memo there. And one of the things that I mentioned is that all the pending cases, you need to bring them back. Why are you taking it to Abuja except you want people to disappear? And most of the time, they have always disappeared. So you know what my heart feels like when I actually saw a number of people that were caught from the Yelwata killings actually facing
finally arraigned. They released some. They said they come out some for the charges.
And like you hear, and like you probably heard the other day from the widow from ZK, they usually come there more than 20, 30.
So how do we catch only 9 and 10?
Yes. So for us, it is even a strange thing to actually really see that some people have been caught and they're actually in court. And of course, his lawyer mentioned very clearly, because there are different levels to this thing. The lawyer, after then, came out of court. He said very clearly that, well, you know, it's a criminal case that we brought for us. It's a criminal charge, and they must prove beyond reasonable doubt. So it is one thing to even arrest. So we're even happy. Before he was arrested, take to Abuja, and nothing is heard. Now it is arrest, they have been charged. The question now is, does the Nigerian state have all the wherewithal to be able to prosecute and bring all the evidence that you need to be able to prove beyond reasonable doubt?
No vex, make I ask you one question. How was the Nigerian case, one, able to prescribe IPOB and call them a terrorist organization? Two, how was the same Nigerian state?
Sorry, say that again. I didn't get you.
How was the Nigerian state able to prescribe IPOB and call them a terrorist organization? That's one. And two, how was the Nigerian state, why are you grinding? How was the Nigerian state able to prosecute Nnamdi Kanu and call him a terrorist and prove that he's a terrorist indeed, according to them? How are they able to do that and are unable to do same with the people that have indeed been killing people, maiming Nigerians, and in their numbers, not one, not two. They kill en masse, you know that. So, I mean, what's the difference?
Well, the difference is who is at the helms of affairs and who is willing to use the apparatus of state. Somebody once mentioned that when it was the phone of the daughter of a general that was snatched around Nyanya, that they were able to find that phone within 24 hours. In that madness,
so they know the criminals and where they snatch phone.
So they have we have the technology, we have the wherewithal. If we want to do our work, simple and short. But when it is not very politically correct, and that is why we keep talking about we have great body of laws in this country. We have we may not have the best trained because we are still not giving security agents the kind of monies and welfare they can do their work very well. But just the other day, you probably saw it, that a soldier came out to protest that he was dismissed from the army because when he was told not to shoot at terrorists, he did shoot, and because of that, he was court-martialed.
Oh yeah, we hear that I mean, the guests here have always said it. I never actually believed it, that there was always an instruction of do not engage.
Now, don't forget that Miango village is barely 40 kilometers from the 3rd Armored.
Oh no, we shouldn't have this.
Are you there with me?
Okay. Sorry, we're back on. We lost you for a second. I had a call. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you. Go ahead.
So, no, it was just a national. So there is the 3rd Armored Division, the almighty 3rd Armored Division, that is just a few kilometers away from the theater of massacre that we speak about. Anybody who is going to Miango must pass the 3rd Armored Division golf course to the right. So if you ate very well that afternoon, you can actually trek from the 3rd Armored Division into Miango town. That is how close it is. But you always hear that either others were not giving or the engagements were not, they weren't given the latitude to engage and everything. So there's a lot going on in this country, and that is why people keep saying each and every time that we need to see a government that has will.
So going back to Malami's case, one of the count charges, Nana, say in deliberately no say people finance terrorism, in hold their case files, but in refuse to prosecute them and in let them go. That now one of the charges and put it on in head. How you take see that for an attorney general of the country?
It tells you something that he is, the beauty when they use the word complicit. Complicit just means that by your action or inaction, you have aided a set of events to happen, or you have aided a set of things, to happen. When you refuse to don't forget that sometimes when they talk of restorative justice, which means basically when somebody is aggrieved, you take his hand and say, sorry, we have seen what you're going through. Sorry about what you're going through. Or you see these people that have brought this thing upon you, we will deal with them. You see, when you go after those people that go and kill people or enter people's or do some nonsense, and you deal with them, what does that do? Tomorrow, when somebody wants to do the same thing, they go think, these people are jailed, these people are prosecuted, I will not do it. It cuts down on the insecurity in the country. You don't need to pass to do that arithmetic. You'll be subtracting nonsense from the country. Even me, with no pass math, I can do the arithmetic myself. But you see, when people are able to go into villages and kill people and massacre and just burn towns and burn farms and do all that they want to do, and nothing is done to them, you breed a new set of individuals. You even aid people when not even enter that thing. When they see other people succeeding in that group, in that nonsense that they're doing, these killings and this laying waste of many villages, when they come and say, come, nothing to us, we get people for government, nothing to us.
So are you assuming that this terrorist operates with backing from government? Now waiting they give them money to continue.
I think what I'm trying to say is I will not do a blanket backing from government speech here. But I'm trying to say that there have always been bad eggs in high places, including governments.
That protects the terrorists and that are aware of their deeds.
Yes. And that is why today, people can go around Easter, go to Zike village and massacre plenty, cut people down, slit people's throat, burn their houses, and then go over to Benue State, enter Yelwata. One day in between, they weren't even waiting for holiday. They went down there and did the same thing. And that is why they will go to places and they will tell you nothing will happen. They will have this thing and nothing will happen. What about the confrontations that happen around the farmlands? You need to have conversations with people that were found at the farm. They are looking at you, you're looking at them, and they're coming in. And they're telling you nothing will happen. Nothing is going to happen here. If you don't leave this place, you're going to die.
Your own farm.
They're saying it to your face.
Your own farm.
Oh, yes, your own farm.
If you don't leave your own farm, you could die.
But people have been people have been driven away from their towns. We did some research some time back across 25 communities in Plateau State. It was a syndicated work between Taraba, Benue, and Plateau State. of 25 communities, I've had interview with at least 12 victims in each of those communities. I have sat down with them. It was people they knew. They came back. They left. Why are you leaving? They want to leave. They leave, they come, and they kill. These people they know, they named them. We know the names of some of these people. Maybe one of these days I'll share with you one of excerpts from the reports that we had. These people they knew, but they know that they have people in high places that when they get to Abuja, when they come to Abuja, their files are held upon, and except the prosecution is willing to, and it's one thing to even take the matter to court. The job doesn't end there. If your prosecutor does not take on the matter or decides not to show up in court once, twice, the defense will stand up and say, my lord, we like this matter struck out for the warrant of diligent prosecution. The judge looks at his at the court's record and sees that in fact the prosecutor has not been in court for 3 times, and then we say this matter is hereby struck out for warrant of diligent prosecution because the prosecution
would have
is
died
not
just for
working.
nothing, and then that just ends it, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. In Nigeria,
we have found ID cards, Precious, on sites.
ID cards
on sites that ID cards of assailants, and we have found phone, we have found ID card of assailants, and nothing has happened. Not one of these individuals I'm talking about have been brought to book. None. It's not for want of taking them to this thing. But yet, what usually happens?
Okay. Go ahead. Let me let.
Yeah, I just what usually happens the moment there's an attack, and then the people come out and they're trying to do patrol. That's when authorities will come, and then the small bows and arrow they'll collect and go and detain the bow and arrow holders. That has been the story of your country. That's what it has been.
So I know that I've asked this question over and over again to a lot of guests, but I'll ask you again. Perhaps I'll ask that question again to you before too. What is the reason for all of these attacks? I do know that these attacks precedes President Muhammad Buhari's administration. In fact, now one of the things that they use hold Jonathan down attacks, but maybe not in the scale where we say they come they do them, especially within the middle belt. Because a lot of people will say, oh, the farmer header clash has been a long thing. It precedes even the present democratic dispensation. It's been a long thing. It's an age-long thing and all that. But waiting because this so-called farmer headers clash. And what in the name is going on here? What could be waiting really be the problem? I mean, the root of the problem, it should be then say for you to get a solution to a problem, you must identify the problem itself. So, in your opinion, as an indigenous of Plateau State, whose citizens and brothers or relatives may have faced the same attacks, perhaps whose village have even faced the same attack, what do you think is the real reason, the pain and the agitation of your prosecutors, if I have to say prosecution as the US would say, what do you think is their anger towards you?
There are different theories. You could pick one. There's a quest for. Can you?
Very well. I can see you. I can hear you. I can see and hear you.
Okay. So for one, there's quest for for land, grab lands. As I speak to you, there are about 100, almost 200 land masses just in Plateau State that have been overrun and taken over. Some of them have been renamed,
or just empty lands,
like villages. Yeah,
villages.
Like villages. Oh yeah, yes. In there's parts of Jaw. Yes, sir. In parts of Jaw, in Riom local government, there are people right now living in other people's homes for more than a decade that they never built those homes on.
No vex, no vex,
Killed
no
them.
vex, no vex. You see, for 10 years, we don't get human beings they live for land, we know be there.
Yes,
For people village.
yes,
And then
yes.
kill the
And that
people who get
time,
the village occupied there right
yeah,
now.
the authorities know this. I had this conversation as legal advisor of the Development Association many years ago in officers' messengers, and we asked the question, why are those people living in other people's home, and nobody thinks that they need to go and root those people out? Like, they have even changed the names of some of those villages to something else. So there's that happening. And then some of the places where this displacement happened, you need to see how beautiful those places are. Like in Gashish. Gashish has
I mean,
water.
just Plateau State has one of the most beautiful
Yeah,
landmass. I mean, in Nigeria, and I get the finest type.
it's true. It's true. Gashish, you need to go to Gashish. Lush greens, water, bodies, sweet place.
So now it's occupied by who exactly?
Yeah, by Fulani people and their
People,
cattle.
people speaking Fufude, people of
Yeah,
property extraction. How
yeah.
is it that did this happen during President Muhammad Buhari's administration or before his
Yeah.
administration?
For Gashish, it happened during Buhari's
Administration,
administration.
and he didn't do anything. Did you call the attention? Did they call the attention of the government at that time? What did
I
they do?
remember that Vice President Oshibanjo was sent to Plateau State. I know this because I was in Government House and I also addressed him that day. I was one of the people who were given chance to address the Vice President in Government House that day. Over 200 people died in one attack.
What year was this?
I remember the year.
There's been
But
too
this
many
was,
attacks and with too many deaths that we can't even
yeah,
remember anymore.
yeah, over 200 people. I remember clearly. Over 200 people. In Gashish. All you need to do is to Google Gashish. Gashish massacre. Gashish is spelled Gashishi. Gashish, something like that. Yeah. Gashish in Plateau State. So, and then there are other theories that you know that has come up. If you remember anybody who's a student of history, I'm sorry that these days we gathered how they are twisting the histories that we once knew. Things are changing. History books are showing up without mentioning certain tribes
Well,
now.
the Ministry of Education has denied that. They said they never approved that particular history book. I want to say
Okay.
nonsense, but I wonder how some schools are using it without the approval. We'll go ahead. That's
Yes.
just relating to that.
So anybody who's a student of history knows something about the jihad and the fact that it didn't have very serious headway in the Middle Belt. And a lot of people have a theory that seems to suggest that most of what is also going on is trying to finish what Danfodio did not finish many years ago.
Hey,
There's
no, no, no,
also
no,
that.
no, just hang in there, brother. Are you saying that this is a continuation of um, whatever it is about conquests and dipping the Quran into the ocean?
So so you need to check the works of Professor and the writings of Professor Gundu. He's the renowned professor and the current VC of University of Unka in Boko in Benue State. As a matter of fact, I had the rare privilege of speaking with him today. A very kind gentleman who speaks truth to power at any time that he is called upon to do that. All you need to do is to read some of his works. At the top of it, it sounds like a you know like he's in a scare of some sort. But some of the arguments that he has pushed over the years is very hard to find. He's on YouTube. Some of his positions are also on YouTube. You could check him out. Because he breaks down this concept very succinctly as well. Either ways, one thing is clear. people are being deprived of their lives and livelihoods, their properties, and the state hasn't done enough to be able to allow people just be able to go to sleep at night and wake up and go to school the next morning.
All right, so Barrister Jugo, I just trying to check up on the Gashishi massacre, and I see something that Miyechi Allah took responsibility and they're saying that is retaliation of 300 cows being killed. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, and I'm sure probably there's probably not been just one massacre, and
This is
there are
the
videos
news
everywhere.
according to Vanguard. I'm just seeing it on Vanguard. The Plateau massacre,
Yeah.
Gashishi, retaliation of lost 300 cows. Miyechi Allah.
They have been very open about this whole thing. They take responsibility. Like, if you want peace, you don't touch us, don't touch our cows. If not, we'll retaliate. There's no secret. This is no secret. It's on the. You're just reading it from Vanguard. It's not as if it is one obscure magazine somewhere. It's not Meals and Boons or something. It's a real-time, respectable tabloid. It's all over the place. That is not the only time that.
What did you say, Professor Isabel? What did you say his name is again? Professor what?
Gundu. G-U-N.
G-U-N-D-O. G-U-N-D-O.
Yeah.
What's his website or YouTube page?
I'm not sure. You could just, I don't know that he has one, but he has been captured in different forums and they have posted. So all you need to do is to search his name on YouTube. I'm sure you see a couple of videos of him. And then a couple of his writings down the line as well.
So he's
So he had a security
Professor University. Okay, all right. Professor Zacchaeus Angagundu.
Yes. Yes. Him. Oh, lest I forget, he has been sued by the Nasarawa state governor.
Over what?
For some of the things, for making some of the assertions that we're making now as well. And for pointing fingers at the place of Nasarawa state, where, you know, he has a theory as to how the geography of Nasarawa state and the individuals in there have aided and abated some of the, you know, some of the attacks that Benue has suffered over time. So yes, I mean,
so when this happens, or when this happens under Buhari's administration, that's Oga, because this one don't come they take us apart from it. We'll talk under Buhari administration where Malami be Attorney General. Waiting be the thing with Buhari they always talk when it happen like this.
All that we asked for even that time was that with the kind of killings that were going on, can you put a barracks of, you know, well-able-bodied men in this flashpoint? Even that was promised. Money was promised to take care of victims, and a barracks was said was going to be situated. None of this has been done till today. None. NEMA, because I remember that day. You know, I particularly, in fact, the week before, the Operation Safe Haven commander at that time, we even had a small problem with him because he didn't want me to speak at a particular meeting. So when I was speaking to the vice president, I said, even this Oga sitting next to you, that one there, is part of our problem. NEMA, we don't know what they're doing. Are they making
the National Emergency Management Agency.
Yeah.
That is supposed to respond swiftly to such attacks.
Yeah. They were all on the entourage that particular trip, I remember. But as I say clearly to you, some people were trying to be politically correct instead of making sure that there are, you know, there are people who are taken care of. It was terrible.
So are you saying that the federal government deliberately keep quiet to people killing their own citizens in Nigeria, in their homelands, and taking away their lands, living for their land, and the federal government, they helpless and not do anything about it.
I am
Both
saying to
President
you
Muhammad
that
Buhari administration and the new administration, they are helpless and they can't do anything. Is that what you're saying?
I can send you a list of more than 100 villages that has been run over in Plateau State
Only
today,
in Plateau State.
just in Plateau State. I can send you a list, and then you can do your own investigation on that.
So I cannot enter those villages like that anymore.
No, no, no. Who you be?
And the federal government is aware of this.
Oh yeah, of course they know. I was on
So what are we
different
saying
calls.
now? Then another question I want to ask you now. No vex, because when today when Congressman Riley Moore posted the picture of your governor with him, and talking about how he's resolute and how the United States is resolute to ending farmer headers. I mean the killing of Christians in Nigeria. That is the picture of your governor with him in the US. And
Yeah.
one thing will be say somebody immediately, and I notice it people like that they quick to posting. Bashir Ahmed, former media aide to former president, media aide to former president Muhammad Buhari, quickly posted. And every time Congressman Riley Moore posts, he's always going to Riley Moore's post and saying that it is no Christian genocide. We have existential threats. It's just a threat that affects both Muslims and Christians. In fact, most Muslims die, but it's just that we don't talk about it. So he keeps saying that. And he did say that again today under this tweet. Permit me not to bring it up. I said, I've told you, Riley Moore, there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria, nothing like that. It's just criminals who are, and the people started attacking him on earth. Why have you not gone to redeem villages that have been sacked? Why is the government not doing that if it's criminal elements? At least, person will hold stolen goods. Now, the easiest way to know who's you go trace who, and those lands are stolen goods, aren't they? So why do you think the government, generally, this administration, has been keen on killing the idea or the stereotype or the idea that there is a genocide in Nigeria, especially against Christians? Why do you think so? Because it looked like, say, when they spend time and money, they push back. Sote would not pay $9 million to push back the idea, say, Christians, the guy. Why do you think so? And then while doing so, they still never try to go come up with the way they say they don't overrun their villages, just like you said. Why do you think so?
It's not politically expedient. It's
How?
about the next election. It's about the next election.
Okay, wait. The reason we make they never go pursue those people for those villages, not be because they not fit do them, but not because of say for them to win next election, I make they never do them.
But you see, the question that I'll ask you first is who gave the people who are staying in those places the audacity? Who gave them the audacity to do those things? The thing is just like that. Like how? How does somebody go somewhere, kill people in a village, and start to live in their houses? What is it nowadays? What? That's where the question needs to start from. They have the mind to be in those villages, to stay in those villages. This one, we're even going far into some of those places we're talking about. There is a village called Mutfwang. Is in an extreme end of just not local government. It was thriving, one of the most beautiful places in that corner of just not local government. Greenery, it has solid minerals. They uprooted that community house by house. There is no one in that village.
May
And
what
then
name? May matter.
Mutfwang.
May
Yes. It's next to another community called Dong that is close to the Plateau State Wildlife Park. It is in Just North local government, between Just North and Just South. That town, they took down In fact, some of the houses, they didn't stop at burning them. They took down block by block some of the houses that are there. I still have pictures somewhere. Someday I can share it with you. And there is a community not too far from there where everybody knows houses the terrorists that do all of this nonsense. They call it Rafimbona. It's there. Everybody knows about it. Not one day were security agents sent to go and root people from the place. I'm saying all of this so that we understand where we are in this country.
So then what is the purpose of now trying to prosecute Malami if this same administration know all these things and they are unable? I mean, we have the present attorney general. You understand? If he knows all these things and we're able to give order to military to go evacuate those people wrongfully occupying people's ancestral homes, then why are we prosecuting Malami?
Well, maybe it is a situation where things are just aligning, because I, for one, would prefer that there is at least one of many that is being prosecuted than nothing at all. If probably he had played ball, some people have the argument, and I can't say anything to that because it is neither here nor there. There is no proof. Some people would say that the only people that are being prosecuted today are those who are not in the good books of the present government. I can't say anything to that because I do not know. I do not have the gift of reading minds. I don't. But give me a prosecution of Malami any day. Why? Because of his actions and inactions have caused us to be in the depth of nonsense that we are in this country where security issues are concerned. Because if they were persecuting individuals, if they were not aiding and abetting them or looking away from doing the work that they needed to do, maybe they level that. Nowadays you wake up and you just hear new people, new names, from Lakurawa to, bandits have now started using nicknames up and down the place. They just look for one new name and they are branding themselves as they wish. They're enjoying Nigeria. Anybody can show up from anywhere, take a part of the country that he wants, kill people at will, use people in Kogi State as a shopping mall. Whenever I pick 2-3 people, you know that how many million is coming to your kitty. Then you can go on TikTok and do giveaway. That is how sick things have become. And we're not speaking enough. We're not doing enough. So give me a prosecution of one person, and then let us keep pushing for other people who are complicit, who are hiding behind power. So let us keep praying and doing our best to make sure that they are brought to book.
All right. So, what do you think? What do you make of the U.S. intervention so far? We see they don't try to do, and then the U.S. assurance to your governor today in the U.S. that they will ensure they protect Christians. A lot of people will tell you that the U.S. doesn't really love you; they're protecting their own interests and not your interests. So, what do you make of it?
You see, people who say that they forget people that watch their children being slit. You think that the woman who watched her children burn in a house care where her help comes from? We're here sitting in Abuja and Lagos and speaking about sovereignty. We're speaking English. We're speaking English. People they don't know when they sleep at night. They don't know if they're going to wake up the next day. We're there speaking English about sovereignty, where there are many local governments in the southwest, in the southeast and the south and in the northwest that have long been taken over by bandits, since they like to call it by a soft name. Those people are terrorists. They have put flags in local government. Nobody went to argue sovereignty with those people. It is when Trump wants to help us do our work. That is when we want to speak English and speak sovereignty. We're eroding on the sovereignty of the country. That is when we want to have that kind of conversation. We should clap for ourselves. But I tell you this, those people in those villages that don't know what it is like to sleep with their two eyes closed, they will take the lack of sovereignty any day if it would mean that. But of course, Nigeria is a sovereign nation. We understand that. And nothing takes away our need to be able to reach our hands across and say, we know if you do this one. Help run out for us. Shouldn't be too much. Come on. That's the least that we owe our citizenry. We are far-flung in other places. We may not know how it feels like. Maybe in Lagos and some of these other places. But I assure you, when you start to get down this northern side of things and you sit down with these individuals and you speak to them, you understand the luxury of being able to sleep at any time that you want to, knowing that except God calls you that night, that the chances that you wake up the next day is there. These people have woken up with fire in their rooms, with people standing outside their windows, pointing AK-47 through their windows and shooting at random. That is what it looks like.
This is sad. So, but from your understanding, you think, say, our security get what it take to actually tackle this heads on? And if we get what it
I
take to
believe that.
heads on, why wouldn't it
Listen,
work?
you know the truth is that we can always do better, but to a very large extent, it has not been a lack of hardware or intelligence. That's the point you need to get in responding to your question. Where we are today, not be lack of intelligence or sophisticated or weapons or hardware. It hasn't been a lack. Where we are today, it hasn't been a lack of these things. So yes, we do. But the one major thing, if you like, have the best of military personnel, that when they go for peacekeeping, they give them general commanding. They give them all sorts of medals when they come back. And then when they come back to our country, they take away that fire from their chest. And they're not given the wherewithal or the right order to go and do what they need to do. So we are like, till we go out for dancing competition, that's when we excel. When we come back to our house, we come and lie down in our beds and sleep.
Okay, so I mean, one of the person, or the person we even leave Nigeria, go to military, go to civil war, or go one. If from one area, people like one, how does this make them feel? That the people that they join together to fight the Biafra war are the ones killing their people. How does it make your people feel? I'm sorry I'm going this way, but I mean, it's a legitimate question, and someone had already queried about that. How does it make your people feel that, I mean, you liaised with the Hausas, the Fulanis, to fight the Biafra war for Nigeria. And these same people are the people who are killing your people from what you have mentioned now. How does it make you feel? How does it make your people feel? How do you think Gowon is reacting to this?
I'm pretty sure that he's not happy. For anybody who has had the opportunity of sitting with the elder statesman, knows that he's a very soft-spoken individual
Yeah,
who
he's very calm and
has
soft.
a lot of, very empathetic. And he is, and that is, and I'm sure it is out of that um, desire. And now he's a general, not of armies as we know them in conventional. He's a, since the best now he can do is to be a general of prayer warriors. That's why he has Nigeria praise now. It is in trying to metamorphose from being a general of warfare in a conventional sense to being a general of prayer warriors. You see him, he just wants this to go. But I'm pretty sure that he's a sad man where this is concerned. He's very sad. He was in Jos. I don't know if this carols, but I know that the previous carols in Jos, he was there together with General Olusegun Obasanjo. Yeah, and then all the ballistics that came out from that particular day. I'm sure you saw the news bits. So yes, I'm sure
Is he aware of what the agenda is? What you mentioned, the fact that there's more of expansionism, like you had mentioned. Is he aware that there are communities in his state that have been run over? Is he aware of all of this, or they just don't give him the information?
I think he knows because I cannot say for certain. But one thing that I do know is that he's a man of resources, of many, many resources, including human. And even if it is for the sake of knowing what to speak to or what to pray about, I'm pretty sure that the conversations will reach him. He knows. I'm willing to bet my bottom.
And your governor, what's your governor? Do you think your governor is helpless? What do you think he would have done better or differently to save more of his people?
I know one thing for sure is that he feels this pain. There's been time prior that we were not sure what was going on in government house where this conversation was. But you saw how at some point in time he and the Benue State governor were at cross
Buggerheads.
purposes.
Yes. This one say genocide there. The other one say nothing like genocide. And the other one a reverend. This one got reverend. How far? Our reverend will say genocide no day. When did they kill our people? And your governor has stated, in fairness to him, he stated even on television that this is just about, like he mentioned something that looks like expansionism, like taking over lands. He mentioned that.
Yeah.
And it's very bold of him to say that. So, considering that his colleague in Benue State is yet to be able to say that, why do you think so?
It's about priority and a question about who is the piper, who is playing the tune, what are you dancing to? I know I don't want to break that into so much details, but you can do your investigations as to how you can do your investigations, even how some of this political juggernauts got into power in the first place. You might be able to find your answers as to why certain individuals must observe table manners.
And keep quiet while eating. That's okay. But let me take this to a different angle entirely. I know we have to discuss something else, but before we get to that, I would like to pick your mind on that thing because I know you know Beatrice Pugo. He's the president of Middle Belt Forum, on our forum, and you're a Middle Belter. And he's often spoken about using the Middle Belt to extend the North. In an interview last week, um, an APC chieftain who boldly stated that he was from the Fulani extraction, very proudly so, had stated that if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not get a northern Muslim as a running mate, if he tries to balance it with a Christian northerner, that it will be very dangerous for him because it will spell doom, he will lose. And a lot of people have been complaining about that. Some people say, why would he say that? And then I went further probed and asked if Christians were to have Christian tickets, does he think it will fly? He said it will never fly. And when queried why, he said because they, the North, has the numbers, and that's questionable that the North has the numbers. So Beatrice Pugo is of the opinion that the Fulanese, let me even say that because he mentioned it, often use the Middle Belt to expand the Northern Territory in terms of population. Whereas the core North that they always complain about does not have the numbers as much as they say they have. They rely on the number of the middle belt. But before I get to that level, I know that people are itching to jump into the conversation. Let me quickly pick your mind on, you helped us with Asabe's case very quickly. Asabe is the lady who is part of the victim of the Zika attack. And how do you come to picking Asabe as person who will help to, give accommodation?
Okay.
While you talk, make I quickly play a little video on a video of my conversation with two of you. Unfortunately, we had that video call. I had that video call with you guys. I didn't realize that I had my AirPod on and I didn't record the audio. So this conversation, the video would play without the audio while you just give a background narration of what happened. So go ahead, please. Very quickly, because we'll go back to that, the numbers, the middle belt versus the north and all that. It's a very important conversation to have so that Nigerians will understand what is going on. And, please go ahead.
Yeah, well, I don't know if people who are on this call or this platform today know the background story, but the background story,
I'm
of
giving
course.
them the background story of Asabi, so you can just brush up a little bit.
Okay, well, after you shared the desire to at the very least touch the life of at least one widow.
Yes.
We decided
victim.
to go
Yes.
one victim of attacks and all of that. We decided to, because we have a database of individuals.
And I noticed you also run an NGO, and thank you to your NGO because with your help, you've done so much for me. You made the work easy. I would have traveled to the IDP camps myself. I was afraid for my safety. That's why I didn't go. So I had to reach out
it's fine.
you and Debzari. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
We're here for you, and the whole idea is that we can't work in silos. We need to work together. We need to have a network of people who care and who are going to reach out at every point in time to be able to synergize. Where you cannot reach, I will be there. Where we can't reach, we're using your platform today and we're having this conversation. I don't have this platform. So we must see ourselves as partners down the line. And so we looked at our database, and some of the people that we felt were very eligible came out of the Zike village massacre in Pasho village.
The massacre on April 2025 in Zike village in Plateau State.
Yes, that particular one.
I think it was an Easter Eve or Easter Day celebration attack or something.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the woman
she is one of them.
Oh yes, she is.
Okay.
She is here. I invited her to our home so that we can have conversations with you on that day. And she basically was trying to describe how they had a pretty uneventful day. Her elder sister, she's about 30 something. Her eldest daughter is 20, which means she also gave birth very early.
She would have had she would have had a first child, I think, at the age of 15 or thereabout, from what we encountered.
Yeah. So they were in the house, and then they were trying to get some sleep, and before they knew what's happening, the house was surrounded, and people were shouting from the windows, and then the shooting started from the windows, and then they had to struggle. Some bullets hit. She was at home with there are five kids in the house, and then of course the husband was in there, and then they also set fire on the house. One of the children was trying to escape. He was held, and his throat was slit. And then they set fire on the house. The husband, in the heat of that, had hidden in the ceiling. What brought him out was the fire. The fire was so hot that the ceiling broke in. And by the time he fell, all the top layer of his skin was gone. She was also set on fire, her daughter as well. And I'm sure when you see her gesticulating and touching her back, part of the fire had burnt her back all the way to her behind.
She mentioned she's still feeling pain.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
have this conversation.
Oh, yes. So, and thanks to the interventions that you made, Precious, the conversations came down to instead of just paying for rent, because she's squatting right now with relatives, her and her last daughter who also got saved,
Who magically survived?
which magically survived. You could say that because she was on fire as well as her mother. Now of course, they were able to survive it. The people came and they said that while all of that was going, they noticed that there were drones in the air. Now, who owned the drones that were flying? We do not
Drones
know.
were flying in the air while the attack was going
Yes,
on
yes, while the attack was going
for
on.
Nigerian sovereign states.
Yes, yes. There were drones. Who owned the drones? We can't say. But they noticed that was going on. And then they also took clothing and household materials and carted away from most of the houses that were destroyed. So when we had conversations with you about what could be done for Asabe, the and I know that you wanted to. You said what was on ground for you then was to pay for 2 years, and which was quite a laudable
Yes, pay for two
gesture.
years and then equip her so that she can continue to pay in terms of
Yeah,
helping her start a business. Before I
that's a
content
bit.
money a house this somewhere where she dey build or where she
Yes,
build before her husband died. I mean before the incident, and that's the house. Hmm.
yes. And so we just sat down and we thought that, if this house could also be completed, it could serve several uses. One, because there are three, is a block of flats, is a block of three self-contained. You can see that in the video there. They could eventually live in one so that they don't need to squat with relatives anymore, and they could rent out the other two. And then from the rent, she could set up a shop for herself
Certainly, she can have
in that
something doing.
neighborhood, and she had some doing. She used to hawk yam in Jos, but what the one or two attempts that somebody tried to say, okay, hawk yam today and try and raise something, she was absent-minded because of the trauma, I'm sure, and she was known to be wandering off into the streets, and once or twice cars almost hit her, and
We
that
had
was it.
agreed that she's going to see a therapist. I don't know if we can still offer her that
Yeah, we still
because
can
she
do that.
speaks like she's still living in the trauma of what happened till now.
She is. She is. I mean, you've seen your children die. You've seen people slit the throat of your child. It will be traumatic. You've seen your husband burnt to death. It will be a trauma to you. It will be traumatic. So of course, thanks to what you have also the interventions that you put on ground, we sent in Zongo, who is with SIBJAD. That's Raina Initiative for Peace, Justice, and Development, which I lead. And they were able to go to the hospitals. We were able to send you some of those pictures as well. And a big shout out to Bingham University Teaching Hospital. They also were magnanimous enough to reduce some of the pricing of some of the medication that she had to go through. And she was saying today that she feels a little better than she has ever felt since the incident. And she's very grateful to every one of you and to you, Precious, for galvanizing the good people that are on this platform time and time again.
Thank you. And
Uh,
just to be specific, I haven't touched any of the money that has been contributed yet because it's not even enough yet to build the house, which is my fear. And that is why when we got the option of the US missionary who said he can build the house for a lesser price, I was elated because it was more like a relief for me that we can eventually help her complete the home without so much payment because I've been wondering how we'll get. In fact, but at some point I started looking at if we can get some people help us get a raise a GoFundMe for her so that we can complete the house, because I don't like starting something I can't finish. So because I've taken up a challenge, I feel like I need to finish the challenge. I don't know how I'll do that because I don't have money to finish that house for her. But I do hope that God will make a way for us to do that. I do hope that since Alex has decided to come in, that Alex will somehow manage to help us complete the house to an extent, even if it means that I will keep doing other things gradually by myself. I
Yeah.
don't mind. And then her daughter, her little daughter too, was supposed to do something for her too. Me personally, right?
Yes, we're trying to get three options of about 3 schools. We believe that if she gets the best of education, 2 or 3 things are going to remain in our memory. One is that the community that comes together to help one of his own, is a community worth living and worth living for. It has inspired many people who have been grown up to come from very uncanny, uncertain parentage or circumstances to be the greatest of individuals, because they have known what it is like to come from pain. The gestures that are being put forward and will be put in the nearest future, you don't know how deeply it is going to help many other people beyond Asibe and Joanna, her daughter. So I do not take for granted that we are using her, as they say in Pentecostal parlances, a point of contact. But there is so much that is going to happen, and that is what makes me excited as well. And that is why we'll keep trying to raise funds to be able to assist them. And we're also having conversations with a few other people who have seen the initiative that you have done now, and we're trying to say to ourselves, can we, set a hub of sorts to look into women such as Asabe,
I mean,
to
there were
help them?
other 2 ladies too that you mentioned that they were amputated
Yeah,
and were supposed to also help. I haven't forgotten those, but because we were starting with Asabe, and more like
exactly.
Asabe's case has more or less overwhelmed me, my budget. So I've not had time
Yeah.
to think about them. But please, I haven't forgotten them. I'll still give them the help that they need. For now, I'd like to mention that the medical treatment for Asabe, if we eventually get a therapist for her, and her child's education is solely on my bill. I won't be touching a penny from the contribution for that. I want to take the responsibility for that all by myself. For whatever it is that has been contributed, I want to see if it would be enough to manage get her that house back in order. If I'm able to do that, if we're able to get her that house, it would mean the world to me. To see that she has a roof over her head, and not just a roof, she was able to complete a house she started with her husband and can rent out to at least make a living for herself. It will mean a
Yeah.
lot to me. I haven't built my own house yet, but if I can help her build first, it would complete hers first. It will mean a lot to me. So this is also trying to, let everyone know that whatever it is that you've contributed to us is in good cause and is intact. As I did promise earlier, every single penny spent will be made account for and will be accounted for. And I'll publish account statements. I promised and I swear by my life I'll do that, and I'll do that. The only reason I haven't done that is because the account hasn't been touched yet. As soon as I transfer to Alex for the purpose of building her home, ensure that I give you guys the account. And I've also, exchanged contacts with you and Alex so that we
Yeah.
can meet up with Asabe to see the house and see what you can do, moving forward from there. I just thought to bring people up to speed with, what's going on with that. And I appreciate you a great deal. You leave your work where you did do to come together, come help matter where no concern you. I don't take it for granted. I do know how difficult Nigeria is and how we're all about hustling to survive, to keep our heads above the water. And for you to make out your time, the report you gave me about her was so comprehensive that I was in awe. I like to appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Thank
You're,
you.
you're,
And
you're
I'm not paying
welcome.
you for this. Now your selfless service with this, and it means a lot to me because I know it takes time and energy to do that. Thank you so much. So let's go
It's,
back to the middle belt issue very quickly so that we don't get carried away.
yes,
So here is what
so that I can go home too.
Fugo said. Please kindly take a listen to what he said so that you can
The
react to it.
North use, they use
Okay.
this argument, we have the numbers, etc. The North use, they use this argument, we have the numbers, etc. Take the middle belt out, where are the numbers? They know they don't have the numbers, sir. They know it. But of course, for propaganda purposes, they use that argument, we have the numbers, we can do it. Now, the North The British wanted the North to remain monolithic for some reason. They wanted it because they wanted to hand over power to the North. And they used Middle Belters to beef up the population of the North before independence. And the North they use this argument, we have the numbers, etc. Take the Middle Belt out, where are the numbers? They know they don't have the numbers, sir. They know it. But of course, for propaganda purposes, they use that argument, we have the numbers, we can do it. Now, the North, the British wanted the North to remain monolithic for some reason. They wanted it because they wanted to hand over power to the North. And they used Middle Belters to beef up the population of the North before independence. And though before independence, if you look at the population, go back to history, all these things are there, you can Google and see. The Southeast and Bamenda had the highest population, followed by the Southwest and the North, that is including the Middle Belt, had the third population in terms of numerical strength. However, the British wanted to hand over to the North and therefore denied the Middle Belters a region for themselves. Though after independence, the southern minorities were given Midwestern region for also political consideration, which now we know as used just to whittle down the strength of the Southwest. But all the same, we who consider ourselves Middle Belters going down history and memory lane are saying we are not Northerners. We are Middle Belters. And the North has always considered us that way anyway. When it comes to such consideration as North, they say all of us as North. But when it comes to appointments and other considerations, they don't consider us as North. So why should this hypocrisy continue? Let them just say, we are Middle Belters, they are Northerners. Let everybody be who he is.
For Barrister Jugo, you heard what he said. Do you agree with him that the people of the Middle Belt are not Northerners? Please unmute yourself. You're muted.
It's a matter of semantics. Is the Middle Belt in the North? Is it not in the North? I think what people like myself and the Middle Belt concerned, of which I'm also a convener of, is that if you're going to subject where Plateau State, Benue State, Taraba is using a compass, you would have to situate it in one of the two points. You place it by virtue of where the compass tells you that it's in the north, then you call it what it is. Now, do you have individuals who are part of the greater north who have a separate identity as the Middle Belt? Of course you do. They like to be called the North Central in political parlance. At least that is recognized by the by law, and it is used in political circles. Of course, some elements do not like to hear Middle Belt. They don't like to hear that phrase, and that is why if you want to register anything around that, it's going to be very hard, if not impossible, to successfully register a Middle Belt something. But they are a distinct people, as different from maybe Core North, and they are so distinct because they also have their distinct cultures, languages, way of life, predominant religions, and all of that. And if it was not because more often than not, the individuals who are in the Middle Belt are mostly used for numerical political numbers, but are not taken into consideration when it comes to politics in the way that most Middle Belters are taken as second fiddles or second-class citizens when the Greater North is concerned. And whether we like it or not, there's some level of chauvinism where that comes to play. And thus the need to get a distinctive, name or coloration for ourselves. It is a manner of protesting the being put in this deplorable state where your voice is not taken for what it is. Your issues are not treated with, or your issues are treated with levity. Or someone would make statements like, you don't have numbers, and you're not taken seriously. And this suppression has given rise to all the movements that you're seeing now, because that part of the North, or the Middle Belt, as we prefer to call it, have come up to say, enough of the disrespect. We're going to respect ourselves, and we must be given the respect that we deserve in the committee of states and nations within this nation state. And the respect would have, no one is going to give it, but we're going to speak it into existence. We're going to keep on speaking to it till the respect that we deserve is given to us. We understand what the stakes are, and we will do the needful.
Okay, so very quickly, I'd like to know something. That means you do agree that some way or somehow, can you help me mute? I think there's a call back from your end. While I'm talking, please help me mute. All right. So we do agree that somehow the middle belt is just used to add up numbers for the North for political reasons.
Oh, yes. When it is usually very convenient to speak about northern votes. Usually, you can't speak of northern votes without speaking to Benue, Taraba, all these other states in the middle belt. But when you're asked whether we get commensurate respect or a place on the table, more often than not, no. Some regimes have tried to do that, but on a whole, no, we're not shown the respect that we deserve.
So how does that make the middle belt feel? Especially in a situation where, I mean, I like to also speak in terms of your population. Do you think the middle belt is a bit much more populated than what they call the core north? Because so far, the present people where they power now, I mean, the APC members, chieftains of the APC from core north, they insist, say, if they no give a core northern a vice president, a core northern Muslim, a vice president, that it will not work. So most times when they say northern votes or northern presidents, they always look towards northwest, precisely. Sometimes northeast. How does that make the middle belt feel when they are not often mentioned? But when it comes to talking about the wholesome number of the north, they mention the entire north, including the middle belt. How does it make you feel, or how does it make the middle belt feel?
Yeah, how if we were truly a country that desires unity, how did we get to even start having this conversation in the first place? How? It is because there's always been a constant need for certain individuals to enjoy political hegemony at every point in time. So they are going to throw in a lot of scare tactics when they need to get their points, or to get their cronies into power and make sure that they perpetuate being in power. But the thing that must always be remembered is this: that it doesn't take one man to make a village. If we were right thinking, unifying elements in this country, would have been thinking in terms of unifying numbers and speaking to who has better policies when it comes to government. But that is not what we're talking about. The conversations we're having is very divisive more often than not. And I assure you that if you think that the people who are making some of these statements are coming from a place of seeing a country like Nigeria grow, then you're mistaken. All they need and all they want to do is to make sure that when they make such divisive statement is to send scare into the heart of say in this case the present president, and to make sure that their candidates or the people that they have positioned to continue perpetuating power never leave those seats. but there's a lot of
But
live.
why are the Middle Belters not talking? Most times when
Well,
they talk, why on they talk? Why are your people not agitating? Why are your people not also seeking for something? When will a Middle Belton become president? When they say the next president will come from the north. When next it is a northern turn to produce a president? Why are Middle Beltons not also pushing that they're eligible to, producing a candidate? Why?
The truth is this. I won't say that they're not talking at all. Or I would agree that there's a lot more needs to be done. Now, if I was not acquainted with you, I probably would not be in this particular room having this conversation and making sure that the audience is hopefully, a lot of people around Lagos and beyond are listening to this conversation. A lot of your viewers are probably hearing some of these issues for the first time. A lot of the issues that we're speaking to, maybe it's for the first time they're hearing it. So we're going to continue to seek platforms such as like yours and a lot of other platforms to keep speaking truth to power and then truth to whoever feels that they need to reinvent the history that we all know. And let us not forget that there are certain things that we are very disadvantaged in, and that is why reaching out and making alliances across our belts is so important, because the more friends we have in the south, in Lagos, in the east, and all these other places, the more we're able to get access to media. We're more to get access to certain platforms that we can be able to have conversations for. Some of the individuals that are having this conversation and are making this assertion have the kind of platforms that you cannot even start to imagine. So the systems that they use to be able to, and the power and the kind of monies that they have been able to amass over the years are all put together in such a way that they stand to be the juggernaut for them to perpetrate their hegemony down the line. And
Okay.
some of these resources are not at the disposal of the Middle Beltons in the way that it is. So we have come late to the table, but by God, we'll do our best to make sure that we
So,
stay there.
again, we're speaking about the numbers now, because I mean, the North always brags that we have the numbers, and most times, I'm sorry, this is not being a bit ethnic, but most people who say that are often Fulani Muslim politicians who always brag about the North having the numbers. So, do you think by the North now, the Northwest perhaps has that much number, or the Northeast, or it is actually the Middle Belt?
So when we say Northwest, what are we talking about? What states are we talking about?
We're
Is there
talking
any?
about the Kaduna. You remember the numbers that they come out from those states then during election? Not only this 2023 election where those numbers not come out. Oh. I kind of wonder, maybe not because they use beavers. Why not? We're talking
Listen,
about the states,
uh,
Sokoto, the corn nuts. Now, what did they call them? They emphasize on the corn nuts.
let us go back in history. People forget that one of the reasons why Hitler made the kind of inroads that he did at the time that he was trying to take over the world was not only because he had military might. People forget that there was a man in his cabinet called Joseph Goebbels, who was his minister of propaganda. Propaganda helped to keep Hitler in the war. Propaganda is a tool that you cannot probably look at that face and think, well, there's a lot of propaganda. There's a lot of untruth
I think
happening.
something is wrong with your mic. I think something is
Hello,
wrong with your mic.
hello, can you hear me? Is it clear?
It's
Or maybe it's
faint.
the network.
Uh,
Is it the network?
I don't know, but just go ahead. Let's see if we can manage.
So anyways, the point I'm
Did
trying to
you
make
try
is
to get
that
a call?
no,
Okay,
it's
go
probably
ahead.
the network.
Go
The
ahead.
point I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of propaganda being bandied about, and some of the times in various localities, even in the Middle Belt and environs and part of the in Northwestern, some of those theories have been tested time and time again, and some of their theories have failed. And I assure you, I may not have the figures here to speak to, and I don't like to say things I cannot back. But one thing I do know is that what we're hearing now is a result of accurate propaganda. The numbers that are in the Middle Belt, parts of the Northwest, and environs are enough to cause a major shift in the political dynamics of this country. And that is why some of the conversations that we're having today about, whether or not a different vice president of a middle belt and extraction is a very good sell. And I assure you that it is a sell because not just in the north, middle belters have friends in the north, in the southwest, in the southeast, and a lot of other belts. So when we come out and we're taking a stand, it is not just for one person. It is not just for one region. It is in unification that we find the numbers that we need to be able to take care of or make sure that there's a change in who runs or who rules this country ultimately.
All right, Nigerians, phone lines are open. Let me quickly invite people. I know that I have to release it very soon, so let me quickly let them ask one or two questions before I let you go. 08170294077. That is the number to call. I have a lot more questions to ask, but make it not be like saying I only made a sit down for front of things. I beg.
Except I also unfortunately need to yes, I also need to have to make myself scarce so maybe in the next 5 minutes if there's an question.
Very quickly, I'll ensure that the questions come very quickly so that you can.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Danjuma, good evening and welcome. Kindly make it quick, please, so that he can respond. Let's take all the questions and let him respond all together. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Good evening, Precious. Good evening, Barrister. Thank you for the great job that you're doing. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
My question is, how do we resolve this whole issue? What do you think is the best approach to stop all these killings and all this nonsense that we see all over the place? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very quickly, let me say this. You probably would have noticed by now that some of the times all the cry and hue in country may not get the kind of traction unless other embassies or other countries are also involved. So we have noticed that one of the tactics that can be used at every point in time is to also make sure that when we have complaints, we need to also make sure that some of these issues are discussed in forums outside of the country, because it seems as if it is when they call the president to order or they call him on the phone and they're saying what is going on here or what is going on there. If you notice in time past, that is the only times that we gain some traction. So when we say that we're going to have a rally at the embassy, in the Nigerian embassy in the United States or in Canada or somewhere, it will shock you, even if it was just 20 people that are raising placards there. We do not like to be shamed in the marketplace. That is one of the ways that we can intensify. If all Nigerians across the country were having such rallies in their individual embassies, or they pick a day to picket some of the embassies on certain major points around the country, you'll be shocked at the kind of.
And the driver seller in Onitsha to also join.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
If we also get the driver seller in Onitsha to share and get them to.
Yes.
Thank you,
yes.
Tiwa Danjuma. I appreciate you. Let me quickly
thank you,
speak to others. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening and welcome. Yes, please make it very, very quick. He has very limited time. All right. Marvelous from Canada, right? Go ahead. We can hear you. Barrister Jugo, go ahead.
Thank you for your response so far. And thank you for the way you've analyzed some of the questions and all that. I really appreciate that. But however, I've got two questions. And the question I'm about to ask, it maybe deviates from slightly the topic we're talking about.
Please just make it quick. Just make it quick, please. As long as it's a question directed to him, please. Thank you.
It's all right. The first question is that, sorry, if I may ask, I think his governor is from Plateau State, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, then. Yeah, the first one would be, why did his governor leave the PDP and go to the APC? Is it to help him prevent the genocide that is taking place in the state, that has been taking place in the state, or even since the governor even joined the APC, I believe the genocide even got worse got worsened, right? That's number one. So the second one is this. Between military coup and election riggers, for me, I see election rigging as a military coup as well. Because what are the different? What's the difference between that military coup
and election rigging?
Military coup is by taking power by force, by violence. Then the democracy, rigging the election, forcing yourself on people, robbing of valuable bosses is the same, because I see it as the same.
As military coup. So make him explain, Amabi. All right. What's in him?
So let him explain, like give me an answer.
Thank you. Thank you. He would answer, but let me quickly talk to others so he can respond to everyone at the same time. Good evening. Ernest, which one you can't balance like this now? Are you okay, Mr. Ernest?
I did relax now. I did hear now.
Clear with your question very quickly, please.
Okay. My question is, do you people have any plan of raising youth militia in Middle Belt that will join IPOB to defend your land, or you are waiting for government? Because if you wait for government, people are going to die one by one, according to Danjuma. That's the truth. Are you people willing to raise youth militia, Middle Belt youth militia? Don't listen to your governors. Don't listen to your senators. Just like IPOB, to defend your land. You people can work with IPOB. Otherwise, you people, they will kill everybody. That's the plan. And don't wait for government. That's my own lad. But my question is, do you have any plan of raising youth militia to defend your land?
Thank you so much. You've made your point clear. Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest. Hello, good evening and welcome. Davos, you're welcome. Very quickly, you're the last caller. Just go straight to the point. Yes. You're from Plateau State too, so this is your brother now. How are they use greet for a place?
I know him. I have seen him make presentation during channels.
Talk him. How are they greet for a place first? Cool down. Tell me.
His own language is different from mine. He is Miango. He's from Krum. I am Biro.
Your Miango is Krum.
So okay. If I speak in Plateau, we have about 50 ethnic languages.
Wow. And people will just think that all of you are the same thing. You see?
And we are living relatively peaceful until when this Fulani came in.
Started.
In fact, Fulani are the only people terrorizing the entire tribes in Plateau State. So from the northern Plateau, central Plateau to southern Plateau, there's no tribe that will tell you that they don't have 1 or 2 or 3 issues. And same issue with the whole Nigeria.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
So what I just want to say is that your guest, I appreciate his submission. And but the thing is that sometimes I think he has worked in government. I have never worked in government, so I'm a bit raw sometimes. So he has worked in government, and
he's being politically correct.
Exactly. He's his word before he say them. And I really appreciate.
He's a lawyer, so if they talk with waiting and get evidence.
Exactly, but the truth is that even the judicial arm of government is one of the problems we have in Nigeria today. You see in his submission, well, let me not use his words for it, but the thing is that let me just say my own thing. Anti-precious, let me nail one thing again. In Plateau State, an AIG of police. I'm saying it because he's late now, but I'm saying it to honor the dead. Anytime I come to your ritual to speak, I honor the dead. In Plateau State, an AIG, his name is Late Dambaturi. They were killing his villagers. He came all the way from Abuja with full of policemen, rushed to his village so that he would prevent the killing. Nigerian army under the leadership of AE Abubakar, General Abdul Salam Abubakar's son that was in Plateau State. He was there when Buhari was in power, overseeing most of the killings. That guy, the soldiers blocked the police, the mobile police with their gun that they should allow the village to be ransacked. And up to today, the people have not recovered. That village has been taken over. This is a fact. It's a statement of fact.
So wait, that village now, one of the villages where they don't take over, be that?
Barikin Ladi.
So Barikin Ladi does not exist anymore?
No, there is a village, a particular village in where Late Dambature come from. So his villagers were attacked. Most of the time, people in prominent government will now take some mobile police to go. Sometimes soldiers will block the road. Even now, as I speak to you, you see, he was telling you the distance between Krum, where he's.
I know, just hold on. I want to get the particular village where you say this attack happened, where now the village, they don't run them over, they don't take them over. Waiting be the name, because people go hear this thing now, tell you, say, nah, lie, you they lie. Say, Barikin Ladi, they exist. So what's in the name of this village where they talk about?
It's a local
is in okay, the village, a particular village is in Barking Ladi local government.
All those jewel side, all those rim side in boundary with Barking Ladi. And the particular location where these people will come to attack Plateau State is, the name of the place is Mahanga. It is the Fulani that changed it in their own tribe name. It is a forest bordering Kaduna and Plateau State. All those attacks you see they do in all those your guest area where they normally attack them, they are from God. The DSS know those locations. I'm saying it authoritatively. It's not that it's not a hidden thing. Even those areas they are from Mahanga. Then if you go to Nasarawa State, there's a place Birnin Wari. That's where most of the attacks in Nasarawa. Most of the security agencies they know. That's why I always like VDM, the way he speaks and the way he's raw. For us to save this country, we have to speak. When good people keep quiet, bad things will continue to happen. And most people in government now will need to change these people, because everything, look at all these people that are in government now, they are preparing their children for a takeover so that they'll continue to rule us from generation to generation. It will not work. I would rather die to honor the dead, those that have died. We will fight.
So do you have a question, or you're just adding your voice to what he said?
No, all I'm just saydire is that I really appreciate your good work.
Thank
Precious.
You.
You mentioned that you've not built a house. Yeah. But you see, because you saw people in dire need of a house, you've provided for them. I'm just praying that all the sources, people who have contributed, and people who are even joining in prayers, that God will pay them back. Amen. And for your guest who is also running an NGO, it's a good job. I want him to continue.
Thank you.
There was even money that Osibajo promised to give Plateau State when he was vice president. Up to today, we've not accessed that money. And most of those people who were in Buhari's government it was mainly government that was characterized by more Fulani people in power. So anything you mention Plateau State, we are not really favored. We are like the most number one enemy. Especially my tribe, we Biro. We are the most number one enemy of the Fulanis. And that is the truth. But Nigeria will be good, and I believe in this country, new people will come in, and people who have passion for this country, for it to move forward. We have people in diaspora. We're not a shortage of people, but just as some few elites have just captured everything. Now, all we want is that tell him to continue to fight for state police, because we really need state police. We need even every local government to be able to have their own police, so that it will even come in reducing most of this insecurity. That's the truth. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Since Barry said you don't disappear, don't go take another person call. You've been disappear for 1 second. I can't take person call. Good evening and welcome. Oh yeah, you're my last call. I'll be quick with it. Welcome. Hello. Hello, are you there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm there.
I can hear you. Please, you have 30 seconds to just ask your question. Please, be quick.
Okay. I want to use the minutes. Can you give me a minute?
Just hurry up
please?
now. You don't take 15 seconds already. Hurry up.
Okay. Welcome, barrister.
Thank you.
What I want to ask, I am an IPOB member. President by name. What I want to ask, T.Y. Danjuma, a former commander of the army, he, by his own caliber, the intel he got around him, have told you guys, a middle belt, that if you stay down there, they're going to kill you one by one. That you shouldn't wait for Nigerian government. They are colluding, they are conniving, they are providing cover. They are involved in the people that slaughtered about 300 people in Yawata. Now, why is it that you people are still relying or hoping, thinking that Nigeria will ever work with the situation how it's going?
So can you go ahead with your question, sir?
So my question is this. When will you, in that middle belt, raise up your own flag? You are up to a nation. Raise up your own flag. Oduduwa have gotten their own flag ready. Biafra already have gotten their own flag.
Thank you so much. I think he gets it. Are you guys going to plan for a secession like other people are also agitating? Are you agitating for a secession? Do you think the Middle Beltons will ever agitate for a secession? I think that's what he's going to. Let me let you respond to that and other people.
Okay, so let me pick a few things quickly so that we can round up the evening.
Yes.
Starting from the last speaker, to the best of my knowledge, there is no plan in the like of or in the mold of IPOB to succeed. But one thing that I know that is happening is that we're having conversations internally, and we're also making sure that we have synergy with people who are around us. We have conversations. Let me tell you a thing that probably happened a long time ago. You see, my brother who spoke earlier on, he's a Birom person, he's a Birom man, and we have shared local governments across the board. Even amongst Plateau State, there was a time many years ago where there was an attempt to make sure that you divide and rule the communities around there. But I assure you that when it started to touch everyone, the need to unify came, and to reach out and be your brother's keeper became a thing to do. One thing we're going to try as much as possible to do is to make sure that the basic tenets of the Constitution, the right to safeguard oneself, the right to self-defense, and anything within the ambit of the law, we are going to express ourselves to the fullest extent at every point in time. We may not just put ourselves in a position where tomorrow it might be said that we are trying to secede, because I do not think that that is the general plan of the Middle Belt as it stands. But I know that we have great friends in every part of this country, including the Southwest and the Southeast, and our friendships will continue to bloom and blossom, both on the political level. I'm sure you saw what Plateau State, even the kind of expressions that it came down to, even in the last elections. So we're going to continue to do that, and we're going to continue to find solutions. And it is not all things that we're going to have conversations on this platform. So we're going to leave that conversation where it is. Somebody asked about what the governor is doing. Like I already mentioned, for one, I know that it is because we know what it looks like. The inverse case can be like. We are happy that we are pleased with him that when there was a time to take a stand for his people, he did take a stand for his people. And having all of these conversations that he's having overseas is because he understands the nature and the normative value of having handshakes across the continents to be able to ensure that the local problems are dealt with even on the global level. So if he continues to do that, fine. If he wants to defect to any party on the line, it is his prerogative to do. I do not know that the ultimate answer is in any party per se. But one thing I want to believe is that where there's a need to speak truth in those ballrooms, we continue to urge that he tells the truth where it needs to be. Because ultimately, the ultimate statesman is that which can be able to look at power, even when it is people within his party, and be able to commandeer the kind of help that their people need. They need to put the people first at every point in time. And if they do that, then there's always going to be progress within that particular polity.
Right. So there's another question around self-defense, your people's ability to defend themselves. Perhaps
I think I have mentioned that I answered and I said that it has not also have been a want of mobilizing self-help. We have always
like
just been
vigilante group, just like we have Amotekun in the
south.
South.
There is. There are deficiencies that abound as well, because you have men of heart in the Middle Belt, and that is I do not mince words on that. We have men of heart. The deficiencies that we have are the deficiencies that we have, and at every point in time, conversations are being had, even with security, the security apparatus that are homegrown, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to find ways around that situation in no distant time. We'll keep on making all the necessary experiments that we need to do so that we can make sure that whenever there is a need to stay any situation, security situation that comes up, we're able to stay with. But I assure you that people are not waiting to die in the middle belt. We're not lying down and rolling.
So in your opinion, self-defense of that sort isn't a crime?
No.
Legally
Self-defense is
speaking,
allowed.
Mr. Moya.
Self-defense is allowed under the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Then why are
It just
people being killed for self-defense? Like the young man, first of all, the I think Sunday Jackson, who was prosecuted for self-defense, and the young man in southern Kaduna, who is also has been sentenced to death too for protecting his people. Why are they being killed?
I want to say Sunday Jackson's case, which I'm very confident and everybody knows about, is I believe that with all due respect to the justices that adjudicated on that matter, it was wrongfully determined. It was wrongfully determined, and maybe there was certain elements that were puppet masters behind all of that. But there was no justification for the ruling, the judgment that was given in that matter. And thank God there's a prerogative of mercy that has come to play.
And then there's this young man in southern Kaduna too, who also helped his people after their traditional ruler was killed, and he's also sentenced to death. So it looks like we have more of that happening. Why?
So we'll just need to keep speaking to these issues, and I'm sure that the more we speak about them, the more we're able to make sure that something's being done. Let us not sleep about this. Like I keep saying, it's not everything that we can have conversations here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
let us let things.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Barrister Jigo. Sincere apologies for taking almost 2 hours of your time. And if we pay you salary for that 2 hours, now God will reward you. Your reward is on earth, it's not in heaven. You will reap it on earth.
Well, I'll send you the reward list.
Sure, don't just add virgins inside the list. It's okay. That's something we can give you on earth. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my brother. Well done. God bless you. Thank you, real good. I appreciate you. Goodness.
Thank you so much for you and everybody else who have been helping us and being the best they can be for your brother's keepers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night and God bless you. Thank you. And thank you, Nigeria, for being part of the show. It's always a pleasure to have you guys join us and discuss matters about our country and ways to move our country forward. It's always a pleasure to bring, our case before you and for us to mediate, talk, think tank about what's happen for inside our country. Because when would they think and they talk and they think and they talk, and one day it will spark the right reaction, either for the people who be say the rulers or for our own body, make it be say the right thing happen. Now. So I love you guys, I appreciate you. As usual, protect your mental health, because he who worries about Nigerian problem and runs away lives to worry another day. You can't not let Nigerian problem overwhelm you. So as you don't finish Nigerian matter today, go rest. Think about that tomorrow again. I love you plenty. Good night and God bless you. Thank you. Goodbye.